Sit at least sit this way. Hey, everybody. Welcome everyone to Secure the Bag. I'm Dr. Lakeisha McKnight, and we're here, of course, with the amazing.
Mr. Matthew Taylor, your Taylor Made Wealth Guy. What's going on, everybody?
What's going on? So, listen, everybody, we're here for another wealth discussion. You know what time it is. Every Sunday, about 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, we're here and we're literally biological cousins, by the way. We're here just talking about how individuals like yourself can create your bag, you can grow your bag, you can protect your bag. And when we're talking about bag, we're talking about your ability to create income and build wealth. This is what we're talking about. We're having a money discussion. And so every single week, we encourage you to meet us here, especially if you want to catch us live, if you want to interact with us live, join us right here. Set your alarm so you don't miss any of the streams that we conduct here on the YouTube channel. So listen, let's go ahead and dive right in. So, Mr. Taylor, what is our topic for tonight?
So our topic is we're doing something a little different from what everybody else or from what a lot of people is doing, and
Mm-hmm,
that's focusing, right? So
mm-hmm,
many people are focused on distractions and not walking in intention, right? Hyper focused on intention. And the whole point is you want to focus and have your own name, your own last name as your asset, right? Versus wearing somebody else's or supporting somebody. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Because I'm gonna go and socialize, talk to people, all that good stuff, but I put my priorities in line first, right? I'm building my business first. I'm working on what I need to work on, focus on my future first, working
mm-hmm,
on my own brand, own business, and
mm-hmm.
then I'll go watch somebody else do their thing, get some food in the process, and talk to some people, right? But you gotta focus on intention and ignore distraction. And there's so many distractions, Dr. Knight. We got Valentine's Day, you know, we got the Super Bowl,
Super
and
Bowl.
what people
Mm-hmm.
do is they spend their energy,
Yeah,
which is really money, because money is spiritual situation. So
that's
they're
right.
spending their money
Mm-hmm.
on somebody else's dream. Nothing wrong with that. But here's the thing. Most people are not where they want to be, and they're so focused on somebody else's dream that they ignore their own dream and
Yeah,
wonder why they don't get to where they want to get to. What do you think about that, Doctor?
I mean, we see it all the time. Like we talked about, with some other leaders expressing how, when you're locked into the TV or you're plugged into social media, what they're doing, what the influencers and other people are doing who are on the screen, the big screens, they're actually telling you their vision. So they're telling you your vision and taking up all that valuable time in your lives where you can be focusing on your vision. So they're telling you a vision. Whose vision? Their vision. They're sowing their lives, whether it's reality TV, and some of you know this because some of you are watching these shows. And so they get you sucked into their lives, right? Sucked in and wondering, okay, what's going to happen next? You're just drilled in to be continued. And then what happens? The day has gone by. You have not devoted any time to your vision, to your mission, accomplishing your goals, your family's goals, or any of that because you were distracted. And just like you said, Matthew, it's important that we all ignore the noise, that we dedicate time necessary so that we can make our last name great. Now, here's the truth. The truth is everyone has a divine assignment. Everybody has an assignment to fulfill, right? And so, yes, there is time, to spend when it comes to those leisure activities. Don't let it absorb and take up all of your time that you have in a given day. We only have 24 hours in a day. And so we have to make sure that we make good use of those 24 hours, whether it is at getting, rest, whether it is spending time with family, or better yet, if you're focusing in on your business, for those of you who have business opportunities, or if you're building wealth, what time are you dedicating to reviewing where you are financially, reviewing where you are with your relationships or with your social life? All of these elements are very, very important. But again, it goes back to what is priority in our lives? What do you think about that in terms of priority and the time we're spending daily?
I think it's so very important. And you hit the hammer on the nail. We're so focused by all these different things that we don't lock into, the important things, right? And the whole point of why we do what we do with business and entrepreneurship is to have one word, and that's freedom. right? You want to have freedom. You want to have the time to go and watch the Super Bowl, throw it at your house, all that good stuff, right? But you're not worried about going to work the next day because your money is making money for you, right? You want to get to a point where you're not thinking about having to, trade your time for money, because when you do, there's going to be a lot of people that have to worry about the next day after the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
After the Super Bowl, them players is good. They can take a vacation, all that good stuff. They make $1 million.
That's
But
right.
for the rest of everybody else, the populace, they have to go back to the place that they disdain, right? They have to go back to the job. They have to go back to their situation. So they were pleasantly, infatuated with something for a set amount of time. And I was listening to Myron Golden the other day, and he talked about what the word amusement means. Muse actually means to think. Amuse is not to think. So literally, when we want to amuse ourselves, we're in a position, putting ourselves in a place where we do not want to think.
Wow. Wow.
I was like, So how many of us are putting ourselves in a position where we're no longer thinking for ourselves, but somebody is think about this. One commercial during the Super Bowl, $7 million. It's a cash grab. And those people are now going to be influenced by what they see, their gates, what they see, what they hear, what they taste, all the energy around them. Then they're going to want to go out and spend on whatever that commercial was, right? Statistically speaking, a few of them, right? So all these different things are pulling, but is your dream pulling? Is choosing your enemies wisely? Like I disdain, you can't see it right here, but I disdain poverty, right? I don't want myself, my family to have to worry about being broke or not having enough, right? So I'm going to constantly fight to make sure that we have passive residual income, that we have multiple streams of income, that we're secure in our bag, that we have, we're prepared we're recession proof, right? We're prepared for things that are in the future and things that are happening now. That's what I want for my family. I'm focused, forced optimism cultivated under stress, ignoring the noise. Because they got their dreams. That's great. But I'm focused on my family's dreams.
That's
How
it.
about you?
I mean, absolutely, absolutely. On a daily basis, looking at, what we have in place in terms of the various streams of income. And we need to do that. We need to be so laser focused, like you said, those who are already, that's on the field for those football games, those who are behind the screens, the actors and the actresses, they have the things that they want, or at least they're really close to accomplishing it and obtaining it, right? Whereas, like you said, it's with us focusing in on what they're doing on the big screens, especially if you're sitting there binging shows, but yet you're not working on your dream, like you said, amuse. You are choosing not to think because you're allowing the television and the social media platforms and things of that nature to think for you. And so what you want to do is you want to be laser focused and say, you know what? Okay, let me sit this to the side. Let me dedicate this time to what it is I need to focus in on, especially on a Sunday. And I'm glad that we do these wealth discussions on a Sunday because it's the start of the week. So how are you going to lay out your week? What is it that you're going to do? What days of this week are you going to set aside so that you can focus in on making your name great? Like what has God created you to do? Especially in this first quarter of 2024. Be as specific as that. All right, so this is the big goal to achieve in the first quarter. What can you do as this month is here? We're approaching almost the middle of February. What can we be doing now so that you can accomplish at least a milestone by the end of this month? But I'm talking about breaking it down step by step by step into smaller chunks, smaller goals. You may say, well, I need to be making $5,000 a month outside of my job to really replace your income. Okay, let's start. Where can we start? Let's just say we can get you to 1,500 or 2,000 so that by the time the end of March comes, you're at that $5,000 a month.
That's right. You want your money to multiply.
That's it. So 2,500. How can we get you to $2,500 by the end of this month so that by the end of March, you're at that $5,000 a month?
It's simple. Save yourself time, energy, and money. Systems. The world is governed by systems. We run off of a system. We are connected to a kingdom system.
Yes.
Right? There's a world system. The question is, which system are you a part of, and which system are you allowing to work for you, right? So we're connecting, myself and Lakeisha, we're connected to several different systems that allow us to, even while we're here, we're still making money. We've been making money since last year, still cooking, right? It's because we placed our cash, we placed a dying liability for an appreciating asset, right? Income producing asset. And here's the thing, even if you don't have a lot, you still need to have some cash so that you can store up.
Absolutely.
So when the opportunity does come, you're prepared for it. Because guess what? In times of recession, cash is king. It may be dying in the bank, but guess what? At least you got something to work with, some dry powder. So when the opportunity does come, you're ready for it. Remember, we talked about last week, preparation, opportunity, right? Proper planning prevents poor performance. So if you don't prepare yourself for that moment, the opportunity, we're given 3 times in a year, we have the opportunity to change our life. But a lot of times, if we're not positioned or we're not in place or for the position, then we end up missing out on opportunity. And it may come back around, but because it wasn't at that specific time and at the specific place, you missed the real stream of abundance and prosperity. Because remember, prosperity, people get afraid of that word. All prosperity means is flow.
That's it.
Sometimes we talk about hustling, grinding, doing your thing. That ain't how God operates. He operates off of flow.
That's right.
Rhythm, timing, so that it doesn't have to be this struggle. Yeah, it's going to be some ebbs and flows, but guess what? You're still flowing the way you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, it's all about preparation, like you said. Okay. One thing is for certain is that if you understand that being on this journey, this journey called life, there are going to be ebbs and flows. There are going to be high points. There are going to be lower points. And when you're in those lower seasons, what lessons can you learn? So you want to prepare your mindset and understanding that it's not going to be perfectly smooth. It's not going to be a perfectly smooth ride. And it's going to be a faith walk because you don't know exactly what's going to lie ahead. We don't know what this week is going to bring. We don't even know what tomorrow's going to bring. We can prepare and seek to plan for it, but be open to the fact that God is in the driving seat.
Yes. And one of the important things that we need to think about, especially this year, is you want to be talking about having your last name be your asset. Well, how do you do that? This right here. I'm not wearing a jersey today.
Boom.
We did that. This is my brand. This is my LLC, Next Generation Lion Chasers, right? Empowering, educating, energizing next generation of wealth builders, leaders, and entrepreneurs to connect them to be able to build and change the world, right? Building leaders, all those kind of things. That's what I'm wearing today.
Absolutely. Right? That's funny that you mentioned that because when we went to the church service today, of course, Pastor was up there with his Dolphins sweatshirt on. And I'm there and I'm like, I'm not making a big deal out of this. I'm not wearing, I'm not like a team. I'm not like a go hard football team fan or anything like that. And so when it comes to wearing somebody else's name, God dealt with me about that many years ago. Create your own name, wear your own name, never be ashamed. And I'm wearing God's name because essentially his name is all that matters.
Yes.
And technically, I mean, if we were to be technical with it, we have a whole nother conversation about his actual.
I thought you were about to say something about idolatry, but that's not
right.
But that's
I'm not it. That's a whole nother conversation, everybody, because we can go hard in the paint for these football teams, but are you going hard in the paint for the Lord? But that's a whole nother conversation. Let's get back. And I know we talked about making our name great, but ultimately, when we reverence, and not to switch up the conversation, but to be last is to be first. And so ultimately, we want to make sure that we're this beacon of light in the world. Ultimately, we want to make sure that we are being a great example of loving others and being able to help support others and encourage others on their way, on the journey. And so I believe that by default, your name will be great when you seek to build up, lift up, and bring up others with you on the journey. And so that's going to be my final word. I think that's a good final word as we're about to wrap up some things. So, what are your thoughts? What are some take homes, Mr. Taylor, of how those who are watching this particular video of how they can make their name great as we go into this week?
So grow where you've been planted.
Mm.
It's simple as that. Like, if you have a gift, if you have a talent, if you have something that you want to do, especially in 2024, you have something that can serve other people, as my cousin Lakeisha said, then that's what you do. You serve as much as you can to the highest capacity. Start getting on TikTok and YouTube and all these places, right? Start creating content around what you're doing, because there's 8 billion people in the world. There's an audience for what you have to say. There's an audience for what you do. There's an audience for who you are. But if you don't never expose that, right, then you're not going to help somebody else. Remember, your development determines somebody else's deliverance. So you got to go and develop yourself. You got to develop and have a destiny, know what it is, so that other people can get set free from whatever they're going through. The whole world groans and pains in the manifestation of the sons of God. But the question is, what are you manifesting in this season?
And don't be ashamed to be a light, to manifest what God has placed in you. Why? Because just as the word talks about, the purpose of a light is to shine. To shine what? To be a beacon of light, to shine and to make an environment brighter, right? Think about it. If I was to turn these lights off right now that I have on, where I'm sitting at, it'll be very dark. I'll be looking like an M&M on this video, okay? However, these lights are illuminating the area, so it's brightening it up. And so a candle is not meant to be hidden. A light is not meant to be hidden. The purpose of a light is to shine bright.
That's right.
Okay, it's to shine bright. Okay, where nothing that's hidden is going to remain hidden, is going to come forth out of darkness into the light. And so just as we need to do that internally, another conversation, when we engage in our assignment, it's meant to be seen. Why? So that it can aid and bless other people. Because the gifts in us is not a gift necessarily for us. It's a gift for those who we are divinely connected to. So with that in mind, we just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Secure the Bag. Please don't forget, if you got value, number one, drop a comment, okay? If you feel led to drop in a comment, something touched your heart as we were sharing information, don't forget to put that comment below. And don't forget to like the video. Hit the thumbs up for the video. Let us know that you've enjoyed what you've heard. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Listen, hit that bell. See, that lets you know whenever we upload, whether it's like short videos or when we're going live, you'll be notified by YouTube so you don't miss anything that we do. We want you to be present. We want you to be locked in so you can get this information. So any last moment words, Mr. Taylor, before we head out?
Look, that's all I got to say. Stop wearing somebody else's jersey and put on your own in 2024.
Get your own. Get your own. That's right. Sport your last name. Rep your last name. And so with that in mind, everyone, thank you so very much. We're looking forward to speaking with you on next Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for another